Does that mean even in the lie about Jinshi being the Emperor's younger brother, it's a double lie? Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Theta, and we are back with another episode of the Apothecary Diaries. As always, we come back with notes on the board, and as always, let's go ahead and jump into the board, where we have the board changelog, where I have connected Anshi and Suren with a green line. I connected Anshi to Yokio with a green line, as that seems to be what that relationship is. And I added Anshi's Lady-in-Waiting and connected her to Anshi with a green line. I thought about connecting her to Maomao with a white line, but I could not help but notice the weird look she gave Maomao, and I'm not exactly sure what relationship might be at play there. So, as with most things, I'm going to give it a little bit of time, see how it pans out, and then I'll make that addition to the board. It's not like we don't have plenty of time. I believe Season 2 is a 24-episode run, right? Same way the first season was, in which case we are still early in the season. So anything could happen. But again, I've got notes, so let's go ahead and hop into the notes. Because I still watch the opening every time, even when taking notes, I wonder if the hands pouring the poison into the food are meant to be people from the past. They are ghostly hands with apparition trails rising off of them. Could indicate towards someone dead, or again, in the past. I mean, could also just represent the unknown. I'm also still at a loss as to who the guy shying away from the camera is, as well as the hands curling over them to shield them, I guess. Few people on the board would match his outfit, so I'm guessing, like I said before, might be someone from the past. I mean, the granny portrait in the opening is a past-related matter, so not unprecedented. Confusingly, the shadow of the person Maomao imagines for the Imperial Brother kind of looks like this guy, even though the Imperial Brother is Jinshi, as per everything I believe and think for all the notes and all the episodes we've watched so far. Using Jinshi's handkerchief feels like way too high of a price to pay to bribe some court servants for basic information. I mean, Maomao herself might not see it as a huge price, but I certainly anticipate it coming back around to Jinshi, and his disappointment becoming a price to be paid. Additionally, I think a little bit of consideration would have solved this without said conversation. We've had many conversations with Shusui about the bugs in the north side, and I can only think back to the mushroom situation where Maomao easily figured out that the north side was the place to find those. Can only wait to see how this will blow up in her face. So, White Blossom, Lantern Plant, Peony, Balsam, and Mercury are all used by the courtesans to make abortion drugs. Now we have white blossoms growing in the north side, where Shusui spends most of her time. And as per my conspiracies, likely somewhere close to the pure consort. Notably, we also have balsam on the list, a smell that Suri carried on her, alongside tobacco smoke, when leaving the military quarter. At the time, I believe I implied it was due to some connection to Lock-On that then never panned out as true. But it is a reoccurrence of that particular plant in the current narrative, which then makes it noteworthy, say. Obviously, I have to take a note about Maomao's observation that Shin didn't know how to make the drug she needed, and someone must have taught her. Plus the previous observation that the caravan would have had to know in advance to bring these things, so whatever connection exists, they would need to fill both those factors. It is an oddity to consider that the Empress Dowager banned eunuchs, but at the same time personally ensured Lu Men became one before seeking education in the West. Additionally, even though we know Jinshi isn't a eunuch, you'd have to consider that if you did think Jinshi was the Emperor's brother, then you'd have to think Anshi had her son become a eunuch as well. We know that bugs can be used for drug making as well. Could Shu Sui's happy bug collecting just be a front for something more insidious? It kind of feels like we should already have guessed that Suri would have been connected to Anshi. We know she was present to take care of Jinshi when he was younger. And if Jinshi was raised to be her son, then it stands to reason that the connection between them would be obvious. In the same manner that it's still gone unsaid, but Suri would also have that same connection to the Emperor, most likely. Granted, the Emperor and Jinshi different ages, but, you know. Maomao says that the Imperial brother is 1 year older than her, but the Imperial brother should be Jinshi, who we already have this whole age thing about. He's supposed to be 24, publicly, which would mean Maomao is 23? She doesn't look 23. So is Jinshi raised to be the brother of the Emperor, but someone else is actually playing the Imperial brother? There is also the element that Jinshi is only pretending to be 24 and is actually 19. I could see Maomao being 18, but at the same time, I doubt she'd be claiming that the Imperial brother was 19, as she isn't in on the ruse. Maomao also says that the Empress Dowager was approaching 30 when she had Jinshi, so that would mean that she's 53 at the oldest right now. One last thing about this line of thought. I'm not exactly sure what aspect of any of this has Maomao doubting that the Imperial brother is the son of the former emperor. Is it the fact that she would have been approaching 30 itself? That it seems unlikely that, considering he was considered a pedophile, that he would have had a child with the Empress when she was that old? Is that the only aspect that Maomao is grasping at for that deduction? Because that seems, per Lumen saying not to make wild theories or anything like that, even though Lumen praised Lock-On for doing exactly the same thing, it doesn't seem like she would use that as the thing, right? I've already pointed out a number of things about the room Maomao is taken to see, including thoughts about the paint and the fact that mercury was brought up before. Something that only occurred to me in the rewatch is that when Anxi's lady-in-waiting takes Maomao to the room, she says no one is allowed in, not even the cleaners. In the reverse shot showing them looking into the room, there's a bonsai plant on a pedestal. If no one is allowed in the room, how is it still alive without being watered? How is it not so unkempt from not being trimmed? Someone is definitely entering this room. Aside from that, one of the stones that we saw the former emperor drop in Jinshi's flashback is also on the floor among the paintbrushes. Don't quite remember what the stone is or about because I keep conflating it with the was it the multiple digested stone thing from like Oxen or whatever that Maomao wanted back in like season 1, and then Jinshi brought up again this season. I keep conflating it with that. I don't know if it is that. Like, I don't know. My final note here isn't something that they said in the show, but something I looked up myself just to try and get ahead of what might possibly be going on with the former emperor. Mercury can preserve soft tissue in specific conditions, apparently. Just a note, just in case. I mean, I think I put all my eggs into this, the paint was filled with mercury, or maybe the rock is mercury. I don't know. I just put all my eggs in this mercury basket. So, we will find out that way, I guess. Well, that said, the only thing left to do is to hop on in and see what we get.
But before we get started,
make sure that you hit the like button,
hit that subscribe button,
comment down below to feed that algorithm.
on top of all that, if you want to watch more shows like this,
unfiltered,
Uncensored,
and uncut,
as well as some early access stuff,
you can check it out over on the Patreon.
it's just $5 a month, but hey, no pressure.
there's zero pressure in order to do that. It's just a little bit of extra support, and it would be greatly appreciated.
Wonder how many openings season 2 is going to have. I mean, I would anticipate 2, obviously, because the first season had 2. Which would mean, like, we're what, like 3, maybe 4 episodes away from another opening? Because the thing is always, what I feel like happens is that I come into a new opening being like, oh man, I really like the last opening. But, last opening, I would always like, oh man, I really like the previous opening. So I'm in a cycle, right? And it usually takes me like 10 episodes for the new opening to really build up on me, right? So, when it comes to this, I'm like, oh, I really like this opening now, actually. Like, I would say it's probably second best opening, maybe. Second out of third. It's the middle child of openings. Yeah, he's got the rock. No, she's holding the rock here. Right. But I don't know how I don't actually know how those two things come together. Like, if she's investigating the room and she sees the rock and she actually manages to pick it up somehow, how does Jinshi's flashback memory dream enter into little him looking up at her, right? Depending on where this is, if it is filled with mercury, you could end up poisoning the entire area's water supply. Well, time must be moving. Because it's been 5 years since the current emperor took position. Last we heard, anyway. I mean, if they don't even let cleaners in there, then it's hard to tell, right? If you actually would be able to get in. I mean, you haven't done anything that would negatively affect Yokio, I don't think. I mean, fair enough, but it's been that since the first season. I would be so fucking worried about just burning the whole place down by accident. Jinshi's toys. We've seen this chest already. She also was talking about how she used to take them away, and Gao Shun couldn't handle that. Yes, as I literally a shot, I think, we got into the season 1. This is the conversation that they had about Jinshi possibly considering Maomao's favorite toy.
それが許される立場に生まれた人ではないからよ。嫌でも背伸びして大きくなってもらわなくてはいけなかった。それが神子様の母君の願いだったから。母君の
Well, not his mother.
育つと心に影響を受けると聞く。だんだん見せるようになった子供っぽい部分。あれも神子様の本質の一つなんだろう。
I guess she raised him. It would be his mother.
おかしな話だ。この絵はあら、こんなところに捨てろと言われていたのに。何だったんだ。
What did he draw as a child that we're not being allowed to see?
いいわよ。
There we go. There's the connection from the opening that I was just talking about.
どこで拾ってきたのかしらね。すぐに取り上げたのですか。ええ、拾った石なんて清潔じゃないでしょ。正解です。毒ですから。どういうこと。
Ah, come on, call it Mercury. I need you to call it Mercury. I know it can't be Mercury because Mercury isn't a stone at room temperature.
ジンシ様は幼い頃、内定に入ることがありましたか。ええ、多少は。でも、それがどうしたというの。今は何も言えません。一つの仮説がある。けれど証拠がない。
Told you there's one in the room, right next to the paintbrushes.
明日になれば皇太后様の言う呪い。先帝のご遺体が腐らなかった理由もはっきりします。それまでお待ちいただけますか。
I gotta say this too, I also know nothing about Mercury really, other than the fact that it's liquid in thermometers and poisonous to the touch.
鼻につく匂い、カビの匂いだけではなさそうだ。穂先が平たく揃えられた筆。やはりこれは。先帝は絵を描く趣味があったのでしょうか。
一度だけ描いていただいたことがあります。ここだけの秘密だとおっしゃっていました。皆に知られたら。
Do you think he was trying to poison people through painting?
動揺している神子様の癖だ。本人は冷静を装ってるつもりだろうけど。先帝については詳しく知らないし、知りたいとも思わない。だが呪いの正体を暴くには証拠がいる。
It should have been a stone right next to that brush. We saw it in last episode.
わかりませんが、先帝がこの部屋にこもるようになってからは同じものがついていたはずです。
その方を呼べますか。
確かまだ働いていたと思いますが。
呼びましょう。
So we all just fucking know who this guy is. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought they were sending Gao Shun out.
思ったより硬い。それに独特な匂いもする。床には半透明のかけら。
Okay.
必死に拭き取ろうとしたような汚れもある。そしてその汚れは壁に近づくほど増えている。柔らかい。分厚い紙を
It's like my walls for real.
頑丈にするためか表面に塗料も塗られている。呪いには大方見当がついていたけど、もう一つどうでもいいことがわかりそうだ。
連れてきました。
あなたは
Is he gonna be the guy from the opening that I couldn't identify, and it's gonna be him from the past?
かなり高齢に見えるけど。お聞きしたいことがあるのですが。
この人は元奴隷です。また喋れません。
わかりました。そういうことか。
You can hear. You can nod yes or no to yes or no questions.
することはままある。 常に人の目にさらされるやんごとなき方ならなおさらだ。では、首を振るだけで構いません。この部屋に絵などはありませんでしたか？何かあったと思いますが。小娘の話など聞く耳はないということか。
Vow of secrecy.
違う。何かを隠している。壁に何かあるのですか？この壁紙、はいでもいいでしょうか？やめろとでも言わんばかりだな。
構わないわ。どうせ壊されるのだもの。
Fair enough. I guess that's why it's not sanctified or something.
慎重に。
Gonna be a portrait of her or something?
この絵。
なんだそれは。
It'd be creepier if it was him in the middle, but thank God it wasn't.
選定の人間性に興味はない。ただ、国の頂に立ったために本当の才能を生かすことなく亡くなったのだろう。それだけの力がこの絵にはある。
But why was the servant so worried about being seen?
これは幽王という石を砕いて作った絵の具だと思います。幽王はひどくと同じ毒性を持っています。
Okay,
そして
not
ひどく
mercury.
には物を腐りにくくする作用があります。最初は壁紙か何かに使われた幽王を知らず知らずのうちに体に取り込んでいたのではと考えていました。ですが、この部屋にある筆の形状を見て違う可能性が出てきました。幽王を元にした顔料を使っていたのです。幽王に含まれるひどくは少しずつ先生の体に取り込まれて
What, the second or third time people have been accidentally poisoning themselves here in the palace?
回っていたはずです。隠れるようにして絵を描
The
き
face, the face makeup, the first two episodes, right?
もあろうお方が絵を描くなんてとんでもないと。少なくとも周りはそう捉える。
As per the jinshi taking his toys away thing.
選定でも公にはしなかった。口の聞けない奴隷の従者に部屋の管理を任せていたのもそのためだろう。まだ弾力がある。この下に一体何枚あるんだ。これほど多くの絵となると道具を用意したのはおそらく選定の母である女帝。この絵の女性は分かっていたのだ。自分の子が帝にふさわしい器ではないこと。
I mean, this is fine and all, but it doesn't really get rid of his predilection for young children.
自分のもとに権力を集めた。
How old are you?
たとえ女帝と呼ばれるようにな
There he is. There we go.
このために何でもして
So the guy in the opening I couldn't identify was the former emperor, and I guess the hands were the mother.
毒だとは知らずに。なんという皮肉だろう。私が言えるのはここまでです。
ええ、十分な働きでした。
まるで早急の彼方にいる誰かに問いかけているみたいだ。
I thought she was gonna walk into the room and slice it open or something.
感傷的になってるな。
I wonder what the pictures behind it are, though.
はあ、腹が立つ。かすれていてもなお、あの方の存在感は大きいのね。
I guess it's faded. I don't.
私はこの絵の中
How
に
long
い
does
る
that
のかしら。
keep its poisonous properties?
いいえ、所詮私など通り過ぎるだけの存在。ここにある傷跡のおかげで国母としての今があるに過ぎない。偶然先帝の手にかかり身ごもった幼い娘、そう同情する声もあった。
I guess Lishu got out of this
確かにその娘はいただろう。
best.
帝の性癖のことはあらかじめ知っていた。父は文官で、母は側室。そして幼い顔の割には所長が来るのが早かった。
I mean, because Lishu got elevated, and then the emperor fucking died and didn't get abused by him or anything. And now she still holds the status.
中級妃の次女として入った。妃は腹違いの姉。長よ花よと育てられた姉は、父の思惑など知る由もなかった。
ねえ、アンシ、早く飾りをつけてちょうだい。はい。
Kind of like a Lee House situation.
ついに今夜帝がいらっしゃるのね。この前遠目にお見かけしたけど、とても美しい方だったの。
Unfortunately, way too young, old for him.
しておりました。さあ、どうぞ中へ。
帝。
その姿はとても国の頂点に立つ。
It's like a germaphobe? Or is it...
次女ならば妃を慰めるか、帝に非礼を浴びるかすればよかったのだ。けれど
You can't tell if he's like a victim of abuse or a germaphobe.
大丈夫でしょうか。
帝の目は確かにこちらを捉えた。野心に満ちた少女の目を。私は先帝の子を宿し、何度も命の危険にさらされ
Man,
た。
people be trying to poison you.
幸運だったのは、子が男子で女帝が孫であると認めてくれたことだろう。
I guess that's our current emperor.
はいはい。
以前女児を産んだ娘がいた。娘は先帝の子だと言い張ったが、先帝に知らぬと否定され、その父親とされたイカンが女児と共に追放された。当時イカンだけは皇宮内で虚勢を免れていたから。
Is that gonna be the pure consort?
イカンも虚勢を義務
Sorry, I
付
was
けら
trying
れ
to put it together. It's like, who?
腹の手術をしたものも。
I don't know. I don't know if she... I think she's too young to be that person.
女児を産んだという娘は一人皇宮に残された。彼女が皇宮を出ることは一生ないだろう。それからさらに
I'm too dumb to do this in the moment, so I apologize. So obviously this is gonna be in my notes on the board next time.
また皇宮が拡張するそうね。
はい、師匠様が進言なさったとか。
そう。
Shishu.
皇宮はどんどん大きくなり、私と同じ使命を帯びた幼い娘。
Shishu.
次々に。
Isn't that what's Isn't that the dad? So I must be wrong about the daughter thing being Lulan. So I'm pretty sure Shishu is Lulan's dad, isn't it?
女帝の傀儡としてのみ存在し、幼い娘にしかまともに話しかけられない情けない男。
An evil guy, this one.
そんなものに忘れられるのが許せなかった。
So you got him
私が怖いですか？
arsenic paints?
私が大人の女になったから？それともこの腹の傷が？ネアの中、許しを請うて怯える男をいたぶった。男に手をかけられた幼い娘。
Is he like abused by his mother? And that's why?
深く思い出につなぎ止めるために。その後先帝は心を壊してあの胸に引きこもった。誰のせいか
I mean, to the benefit of young girls everywhere, I feel.
結局、あの男はこの部屋で女帝である母と野心のない娘たちばかり思い描いていたのだろう。
feel like we need an
一
episode
度だけ私を
about the mother.
その絵もとても大事にしていたけれど睡蓮に捨てるように言った
Oh, Jinshi's picture then, I guess.
私が選定にとって必要ないように
昔あの方が私たちの元へ来たことがありましたね。
ええ何年前だったかしら。
あの時こんなものを拾いました。これが有王なのだそうです。
この石が
At least he had the wherewithal not to
睡蓮
touch
が
it.
ようやく返してくれました。
Why would she give it to you? After being told it's poison.
不義の子と言われようと取り違えられた子であろうと大切な子に違いないのに。
一度私はあの絵を見たことがある気がします。年若い娘の絵で
Does that mean even in the lie about Jinshi being the Emperor's younger brother, it's a double lie?
捨てろと言ったはずなのに。
昔あなたは好んでこの色を着ていらっしゃいましたね。
She's a child of immorality, which makes me think that she cheated. Then why is she seeing him in Jinshi? Also, how could she? Because Jinshi doesn't have that bloodline.
あの絵の女性は本当に女帝なのでしょうか。あの時あの方は何を伝えようとしたのでしょう。
知らないわ。知ろうとしないことを選んだ。それよりもあなた、ずいぶん面白い女官に目をかけて。
The problem is that he seems to be a tortured man, seemed to be a tortured man.
そうね。
But I don't find his mental anguish to be an excuse for what his predilections were.
何年も見てきたのだから。お気に入りは隠しておかないと誰かに隠されてしまうわよ。
Yeah. I mean, that's the theme, right? Season 1, they called Maomao, or implied that Maomao was like his favorite toy at the moment. In the same episode that they were saying that we had to take his favorite toys away from him. And now we're like doubling down on that. But here's the problem though, is that he's not in line. Well, he's in line to be the emperor, but he's not the emperor. It feels like to do that to him now would be to imply that something's going to happen to the current emperor. But also the element that you made him, like, you didn't, but publicly you want everyone to think he's a eunuch. And wouldn't that make him unqualified to become the emperor? Like, unless you were gonna, like, lie about it and be like, oh no, our greatest physicians were able to give it to him back or something. I don't know. The whole Jinshi thing is just an enigma, a web of an enigma. Because one, as I said before, the ages don't line up even for the lie that they're telling. For him to have been Adu's son, let alone, Anshi's son. And now it feels like she's implying that he's the child of infidelity, which would be like doubling down on the lie. Or not doubling down, Oh, okay, that's probably going to explain the apparition arms thing that I was questioning before. Yeah, no, sorry. I realized that when I'm calling it a double lie, it's a double lie to the audience, maybe not so much. Well, I don't know, because it seems like in that previous episode we were talking about the element that they bring Jinshi in to become the brother, implying that at some point in their childhood they knew that Jinshi was Aodu's son and decided that they were going to make him Anshi's son, which I don't know. It acknowledges the mistruth, but at the same time, if he is a child of infidelity, then they could be thinking that they're bringing in a child that isn't actually the full blood inheritor of everything, right? And not the Adu's son thing, but just like the child of someone not the emperor. And then, well, it wouldn't be the child of the emperor. Anshi wouldn't be sleeping with the emperor. um, who was she sleeping with? Yeah, this has only just occurred to me. The emperor would have been dead by the time that she was giving childbirth, right? Well, no, 5 years ago. So the emperor only died 5 years ago. Obviously, these kids are older than that. Never mind. He would have still been alive, but conceivably now this information indicates that he was locked away in that room, and obviously, due to his predilections, she would have been like 30, and obviously not doing it with him. Doing it with her. So, yeah, wouldn't have to be someone else's kid. Okay, I think that solidifies that aspect in my mind, much in the same way that Maomao was suggesting in such previous episode, as per my notes earlier. So, sorry, I've just gotten fully there, apropos of Maomao's thoughts last time. Okay, so now this is a triple line sort of thing, right? We have the Aodu line from Switch Child at Birth, question mark. Anshi thinking it might be her child, but then again, it's not because of the fact they brought Jinshi in at an early age. So I guess it's a 2-line thing. 2 lines from what Anshi thinks is true, and then I guess my personal theory now, because I still have to think that Adu is the mother and it's a switch child at birth thing. Because again, why was Jinshi crying when Adu was going away, if not for the fact that he thinks his actual mother is going? But then, as well as I said before, they both gave birth at the same time. So if Jinshi is too old to be either of their kids, then the Adu thing doesn't make sense either. Either I am just onto something way too early, or I am just completely wrong. And I'm going to be proven completely wrong whenever we get to that point. What else? Oh yeah, and there's also the third line is just everything else, what everyone else thinks. Well, I guess at the very least we've answered 2 of the opening questions that I even brought up this episode. I don't know why child Jinshi is holding the stone, looking up at an adult Maomao, and who is this guy who's being shielded in the flowers, and turns out to be the emperor, the former emperor, and the rock. I was guessing Mercury, was going to be completely wrong from the get-go, because Mercury isn't a rock at room temperature, as far as I know. Not a big rock guy. Not watching that anime that's currently out this season. So, yeah, just wouldn't have gotten there. This is going to be a long note section one, I can tell. Anyway, we still have Maomao's notes to get into. No idea what that's going to be about. It's probably going to be the arsenic thing, I assume. So let's go ahead and hop on in and see what Maomao's notes has for us. Orpiment, the arsenic type rock thing.
先帝の遺体が腐らなかった原因が有用だったとは。
I mean, I guess right on that one at least.
マオマオの豆知識。
What would it be about?
含まれる非毒は無味無臭の毒物。中毒になると
Odorless,
筋
but you
力
complain
低
about
下
the
や
smell
貧
of the
血が
room.
生じる。また遺体の腐敗を促す細菌や微生物を殺し、防腐の働きをするとか。しかしあんな大き
I
な
was
絵を
like
壁に隠
close
す
to
と
the mark
は
with my Mercury thing.
薬や 今回の働きもご苦労だった。
恐れ入ります。
睡蓮から聞いたのだが、竜王のかけらもお前が見つけ出したらしいな。
はい。木彫りの人
It
形
was
や
all
手
over the
まり
floor
な
in
ど
the
が収
room
められ
too.
ている氷から。
木彫りの人形？やはり気に入ったものは隠しておかぬと誰かに隠されてしまうのか。
Yeah, I've been hiding Maomao. Everyone knows.
私も冬中仮想や幽炭が誰かに奪われぬよう大切に隠しております。
それは誰も取らんだろ
う。何にせよ、jinshi様もお気に入りは隠しておいた方が
I mean,
得
yeah, it's
策かと。
benefit to have favorite things that nobody else wants.
お気に入りか。
何か私の顔についていますか？
Yes, the shit you put on there.
でもない。
Your freckles.
まったく、どうやって隠せと言うんだ。
次回、怪談。事実は小説よりきなり。お楽しみに。
Yeah, that's not a hint. Sorry, sometimes they are hints. Sometimes they give you a little bit more than the next time on would give you in, like, visuals. The main show, next time on, is like a little bit of text, but mostly a lot of visuals. Sometimes here they give you a little, like, 2 sentences, possibly, to figure it out. Seems like it's going to be a ghost story, which I assume the fact that they're saying truth is stranger than fiction, it's going to be a true story, embellished. As per that previous comment Maomao made during the envoy visit that I kept mentioning, where she goes, the further you get away from a legend or a myth, the further from the truth it becomes, or something like that. I can't remember her exact phrasing, but it feels fairly clear that that's going to be the thing here, right? We're going to tell a ghost story about something that happened, and then it's going to be actually true, and they're going to try and solve it, maybe? Going to be Maomao and the other court girls doing adventures. I feel like the thing here is that this falls into the same category as what I've been saying about Dandadan, which we're currently watching, which is to say, the more interesting the characters are, the more fun it is to watch them no matter what they do. In Dandadan, it's like, okay, we're doing supernatural combat, and then we're like at school, and it's like, I could watch you guys wherever you go. It's always fun. Well, with Maomao and Jinshi and all the other characters we've met so far, it might be like court politics and whatnot, but no matter where they go, it's interesting to see what they're going to be doing because they're interesting characters, and also not for nothing, we've done a hell of a job world building. So I'm always interested to see more world building, to see how it changes or reapplies knowledge that I've already built up about the characters' backgrounds. Because every little thing added just recontextualizes at least one character's thing. And yeah, I'm going to be paying a hell of a lot of attention to what Anshi said in her memory about the other woman who gave birth to a girl and how the father was still in the rear palace. Or something like that. Something very important there, and I really do think it's going to be important to some of our other character backstory stuff. Because I do think it might have been applied to Lulan, but my worry then is that Lulan is not old enough to be that person. And again, they did name drop Lulan's dad, so that's something too. Either way, I think that's going to be it for this episode. So, once again, I've been Theta, this has been Stoneface Reactions, and we will catch you next time. Bye-bye.
Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?